who's at fault more for the loss? Is it the offense or the defense? Scott, why don't you take that one first?
Maybe it's the recency effect, but I'm going to have to say the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, you make another rookie quarterback, it's kind of been the Redskins' MO in recent years, and make another rookie quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater look like he's back at Louisville.
Yeah.
Allow 29 points to a team that hadn't scored 20 since week 4. You're fourth to last in the league in turnovers forced, unable to get any pressure on them. The sacks are down if you take out that Jacksonville game in particular. The defense, I think, has been a bigger issue than the offense, despite all the changes at quarterback. I think the Redskins have done enough offensively to win some more games, but with this Minnesota game and fresh in my mind, I think it's the defense.
Yeah, those 2 drives in the second half of 70-plus yards allowed, that's really brutal. Dan, who's more at fault?
We're talking about the entire season, right?
Yeah.
I think you can make an argument both ways. I would probably lean towards the offense, honestly, for a couple of reasons. First of all, I think the defense has had more noticeable injuries, with the exception of Robert Griffin III. But, with D'Angelo Hall done, with Hatcher and Bowen both getting banged up early, with Brian Arakpo being done, I think the defense has had kind of a tougher task. And then I think that you look at what they brought in the offseason. The biggest acquisition was Jay Gruden, who's an offensive guy. The second biggest acquisition was Deshaun Jackson, who's an offensive guy. Jordan Reed was back and supposed to be healthy. Obviously, he's had his issues too. But I think we all talked about, look how many weapons this offense has. And when you look at games like the Texans game, which opened this season, games, even the Seattle game, the Giants game, there's been plenty of games where they just haven't been close to competent enough to win. I think that the Minnesota game, I would put on the defense. But for the season as a whole, I think we were thinking that this team would win or lose with its offense, and it's been losing more than winning.
Is that where you're at, Neil, or do you have something else?
Yeah, and I think the defense looks especially worse after that big game against Dallas, where they looked great. So that to me is probably the measuring stick that we're using to say the defense wasn't good.
Yeah.
But like Dan said, I mean, the offense should be a lot better. But this is, I mean, I don't think, are we really surprised that this team is, where they're at and where they're going? I mean, I don't think so. There's problems all over on both sides of the ball, but if we're carving up the blame pie, I would probably say the offense deserves a little bit more than the defense.
Well, there are a lot of injuries on defense, but, in the NFL, teams get beat up all the time, and it's a bottom line kind of
But with those injuries, they played great against Dallas. That's my point.
That's what kind of boggles my mind. You were able to not shut down DeMarco Murray, but he fumbled. Julius Randle fumbled. You shut down Dez Bryant. Romo, you knocked Romo out of the game. Yeah,
tons of pressure on the quarterback.
How are you not able to handle Teddy Bridgewater,
it
Matt
was a whole
Asiata?
Different.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one on that Minnesota offense you look at and say, oh my God, we have to game plan for this guy.
And that's not necessarily on the defense. That's more on the defensive coach, which has been an ongoing bone of contention for a lot of people. Jim Haslett and the whole thing. So
and they've continued to struggle with forcing turnovers, which some of that is probably random, but. They've talked about being more aggressive this year and getting the ball back for their offense. They just haven't done it very much. I think they're third to last in the league in turnover differential.